Hey, is that better?
Yeah, a lot better, a lot better. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. I'm in the gulag.
You're in the gulag now. Survive to earn redeployment.
Fight back if we don't.
They are ready to fight. Taunt the enemy while you wait. 2 stones to the noggin ought to do it. The fight begins. Get ready to tussle, you're on. Fight your way out and you return to the front line. Lose and you're finished. Fight your way out of this or capture the objective.
My game's freezing up. I think I killed him. But now my game froze, so I'm gonna die. That's messed up. The dude's frozen. His knife is sticking there. I'm late match. My bad.
Use this time to train a bit. We'll be deploying soon. Training's over. Time to see what you've learned. Gas is closing in. Proceed to the safe zone.
This is here.
What's up, guys? You got a mic? I'm gonna go with blue.
Moving over here.
I'll make it blue. How about you, green? You coming? Let's get this dub. We gotta get there and get to loot.
5 box marked. Secure the goods.
Are you gonna get that drop? Oh, he's behind you, behind you, behind you.
Payment's been authorized.
I got it, but this is not tonight.
Oh, he got me, I need help, I need help. I'm dead.
Got him. There's another one.
You're in the gulag now. Survive to earn redeployment.
Oh man, I had a whole gang on me.
Your teammate lost the fight. Now they return to base. Stay sharp, you'll be out there soon. Get ready to tussle, you're on.
We're in the safe zone. Watch for enemy.
Your teammate lost the fight. Now they return to base. Fight your way out and you return to the front line. Lose. Fight your way out of this or capture the objective. Got your hands dirty. Well done. Get back out
I
there.
made it, guys.
Your teammate is redeployed. Stand by.
Going in the mines.
What time?
Ooh, got a 12 gauge shotgun. Are you gonna push to talk on?
Trying to find a way to get some money.
I'll buy you back.
Worst time figured out already.
UAV active.
Do you have any advice for new players in this
Victory
game?
rests on your shoulders. Finish the mission.
Everyone's dead. Lottie dottie, I'm at the party. Thank God.
Learn from the loss and come back stronger.
I've introduced 10 of my followers to consider the mistakes that they made and collect them into one peaceful video. Let's go follow my Twitter. I'm going to do this more. I currently place somewhere between 5,000 up to 100. So let's start with the lowest placing of Neko, which is 4,333. This season is very Spider-Man heavy, and Neko makes a critical mistake that many players make, which is just landing on low levels. The start of the moving zones, he had 108 builds left, tons of Spider-Man charges, definitely set up to go deep into this game. However, every single time he uses Spider-Man's web shooters, he just landed on a low layer. If he just got up a couple more layers, he would have such better sightlines over the players who were at the back side of the zone rotating. He could have picked up way more eliminations. He ultimately ended up choking up the final 1v1 and losing, but he placed a second with 0 eliminations when he definitely could have had a bunch more from just staying on higher layers. It's not just staying.
The prop manipulator has been out for a little while. I figured I'd show you guys some of the things it is capable of, whether that is something as simple as just picking Fury up and placing him down in a different location, or giving this board its own custom breaking animation. This device...
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Check your gear and weapons. We go soon.
Hello. Hello, my precious.
Enemy soldier nearby.
Come here. Where are we gonna land at? Steinsta and Weldon? That's sus. Let's go purple. Let's go green. Let's go orange. Pop out your parachute and glide.
Setting rally point. Hostile spotted.
Light movement. Light movement.
Primary objective is to eliminate all enemies. Attack!
Have I gone? Hostile spotted.
You've got gas moving in. Keep your senses sharp. An enemy team is tracking your location.
Look, dude, a gold HDR.
Found a sniper rifle if you need it. Ignore that.
Do you want HDR?
Found a sniper rifle if you need it.
Over.
I'm coming, guys.
Hostile spotted.
Oh no.
I thought you targeted.
One guy. Just one guy. Oh no, never mind.
Your teammate was sent to the gulag. They'll fight for a chance to redeploy.
Oh no, you're down.
I'm on the rear.
He's in an airplane, that's so cool.
Your teammate has entered the gulag. Surviving earns them redeploy.
I'll buy you back.
Supply box identified. Marking location now.
Does anyone need this?
Rocket launcher.
Another team passed through here. Not much left.
Your teammate is redeployed. Stand by.
Launcher here.
Can you launch yourself in the air with that one launcher? I've seen a movie about that.
Clock's ticking. Make your way to the target. teammate has failed. They're sent back to base. You're safe.
I got him. He almost killed me.
Sucky Nicker.
Mark the aid station.
That's him. Never mind.
Never mind, forget that.
Gas is closing in. Relocating to safe zone.
Sneakers, sneaker, sneaker, Nikers, sneakers, sneaker,
Enemy UAV active.
sneakers, sneakers.
Well, then the storm's coming, bro. We gotta go.
You
got a plan?
Sneakers, sneakers,
A vehicle?
sneakers, sneakers.
Dude, my stream keeps saying the N-word. Stop saying the N-word, stream. My chat. Where's my moderator at? Oh, we're dead.
Snickers, 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 skipping the rest. Snickers, 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 skipping the rest.
The Gulag. Survive this, and you get to redeploy.
Snickers, 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 Snickers,
Win here, and you return to the
skipping the
battlefield.
rest.
Lose, and your fight is over.
Snickers,
It's time, soldier.
Snickers,
Break up.
Snickers, 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 Snickers,
Your team can still buy you back if they have the cash.
Snickers, 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 Snickers.
What do you say? You want me to be bought back or not?
Snickers, Snickers, skipping the rest. Snickers, 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 skipping the rest. Snickers, 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 Snickers.
Dude, my chat is not stop spamming the N-word. Stop, dude. I'm turning text-to-speech off. I'm sorry, dude. On again, you ruined it, dude. It shouldn't be doing it, dude. I turned it off. What the fuck?
There's an aid station here.
You gonna buy me back or what?
I need $100.
You got it. You can get one. Kill somebody.
Moving! I will drive off.
Very nice, sir. There's some money. Alright, thank you. Where'd you drive? drop it? Oh, got it. Hey, we got a guy up above us. We gotta watch out.
I hear you.
Everybody, the other guy.
I put him in timeout.
There's an aid station here.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I swear, I need a moderator. I'll pay somebody.
Hey, the guys are right here. The guys are on you. You got a whole squad on you.
I'm coming, guys.
Whole squad.
Here I come.
Oh, yeah.
Mark, walk where I land. Where should I land
Oh
at?
my gosh, that was...
Moving.
I got you, bro.
I think there should only be 2 up there.
Don't worry, you'll live. I'm hit! Ah! There's an aid station here.
It's up to you.
I need 200 to buy one.
There's an aid station here.
I love that gun.
Get behind the wheel.
Zebra stripe.
There's an aid station here.
You're moving on. Get another one. Get another one.
Baby, I know that you've been thinking about me daily. Midnight people's got me moving. I see a lot. It's 3 o'clock. It's time. I said, dance if you really want to be with me. Dance if you want to be with me. I know you didn't think about me all night long. When I'm with the girl, I could do no
There's an
wrong.
aid station here.
Aid station location is marked.
I got you.
You're good.
There's an aid station here.
I'm coming. I'm gonna land on top of your car. Let's go in your car. I'm gonna land in your car.
Get to the new safe zone. Gas is closing in.
I'm gonna land over here, actually. I'm gonna land right here.
Moving this way.
Yeah, land on that. Land on that. Oh shit.
Contract confirmed. Let's get to work. Located a supply box.
We're not
Secure
going
that
over there.
position.
We're not
All right. I just grabbed it on accident. My bad.
No, that's fine. You don't know where
You're
it's
losing ground. Move it.
Watch out. Let's stay out here. Come on, Purple. Get in.
Get out of my seat.
What's up, sir? That's us name. Oh, it scared me.
Bro, we can't pick it up yet. We can't pick it up. It's right here. Where? How far out of here? That guy came in from right over here. You might have more people. They just fought back up top.
I'm moving into the circle. Moving in.
Somebody's breaking glass. Oh yeah, it was me. Yeah, it was from the other store that we landed. Where they're buying people.
Let me fly a drone.
Watch out, so we need to be careful. At this store, they're buying people.
Parking vendor.
Yeah.
Oh, I see you guys.
I'm not ghosted or anything. Yeah, me either.
All right, I can see where you're running. Do you want me to look in front of you, see if there's people up there?
Actually, can I have money? I can buy a load.
There's no one over here. You should go right here, look. Come up here, there's a place to loot. Loot up here.
I need money.
There's no one over here, dude.
Somebody was
I'm looking at thermals. There's nobody.
What's up?
Alright, I'm coming. There ain't nobody up here.
Here's the vehicle. There they are.
Light vehicle here. Disregard last.
I try to snipe them.
There's people on top of the hill?
Careful.
No way. I was just with the drone right there.
What's the destination?
You got gas
Just fought
inbound.
back again.
Safe zone relocated.
Throwing grenade!
Light vehicle here.
Fought back again.
Destination marked.
Oh, I see him. Oh no. Yeah, I'm coming green. I'm coming green.
Enemy soldier nearby.
Ah, they got me.
There's an aid station here.
I'm gonna play solos. I'll see you guys later. GG. Good game, guys. You guys are really good players. I like you, man. Good kids. Who's there? What? Will you give me some soda and chocolate?
No, I only have enough 30 for us.
Alright, give me some candy. Come here, little girl.
Check your gear and weapons. We go soon.
things it is capable of, whether that is something as simple as just picking Peely up and placing him down in a different location, or giving this board its own custom breaking animation. This device is absolutely incredible.
Playtime's over. Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
Hey everyone, this is Six Axis, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new prop manipulator and some of the things that make it. My goal is to show you all the examples that I have set up, and then afterwards go over the devices and the channels I hook them up to make everything possible. But anyway, without further ado, here is my way that you can use the new prop manipulator. The first thing you can do is now pick up / place down any and every prop in the game. For example, like I showed you in the intro, if you want to walk up to Peely and pick him up off the dryer and then go over to this table and place him down here, you can now do that. Now this is obviously a bare minimum task picking up and placing down one prop, but to do something like this before we had the prop manipulator was either extremely difficult or just straight up impossible. You would have had to line up an explosive device so it only blew up Peely and then teleport yourself to a copy of the entire room where Peely was on the table because there was no way to just manifest props, but now you can just pick them up and place them down as you please. Of course this can be used on more than just singular props. I have this really botched model of a pump shotgun that I built a while back, and if I want to pick up this pump, if I pick it up, you'll see that it is now in my inventory. And obviously the entire pump is now gone off the wall. Similar to that, if I make my way over to these custom models of bandages that I made a while back, if I hold square on these to pick them up, you will see that they just go right into my inventory. I also have a couple more set up on this shelf right here, but you can see as I pick them up, they just go right into my inventory. Anyway, let's move on to the second thing. The second way I have you using the prop manipulator is to make custom doors, hatches, or crates. As you can see, I work my way over to this custom crate that I made a little bit ago. When I open it, you can see that there is just a cold yeah, we're going to go ahead and close that and just pretend we didn't see that. The third example I have set for you guys is very cut and dry. It is pop-up jump scare. As you can see right there, that hallway is completely empty, but if I approach it, you will see that Trauma pops up, he jump scares me, and then he disappears. Very simple. The fourth thing I have to show you guys is actually the ability to upgrade / build new areas. Located inside this lovely bunker, I actually have the ability to build a fireplace, but as you can see right here, it says it requires 10 brick to build. I'm just going to get the 10 brick from a wall over here because I don't have any other source. Once I acquired the 10 brick, I can then go back to where I was able to build it, and if I hold square to just build this fireplace, you can see that there is now a fireplace here. Now, why I made it only take 10 brick to build all of that, I don't exactly know, but that's just an idea of what you can do with building / upgrading new areas with the correct crafting material. Anyway, the last example I have set for you guys is actually more creative freedom with environmental interactions. Now, what on earth could I possibly mean by that? Well, let me explain. As you can see, I can actually pickaxe a bunch of props in this bunker because I have pickaxe damage turned on. However, with the prop manipulator, you can see that I can make certain props invincible. Like, no matter how much I hit this TV, it's never going to break. I also don't have to make it invulnerable. I can customize how much health I want it to have. So, for example, this wall will not die to one shot, but I can make it so that the wall does if I want to. Now you have the ability to send signals by damaging props. You can see right here that if I hit this couch, the message pops up and it says, hey, don't touch my couch. The last example I have set up for this is actually my favorite. If I go up to this little wooden plank right here, you can see it's fully intact, but if I hit it, you can see that it actually breaks in two, and you can see a little bit of rubble from the wood. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And also,
they're dropping on the house now.
One of my favorite things that I'm going to be doing a lot.
We're gonna get that.
It's just the fact that I can make it look like I split this board in half. It's just so cool. So those were the 5 examples that I had. Let's take a look now at how to actually set them up. Before I show you how to actually make any of this, though, just remember that all of this is an illusion. None of it is actually really happening. We're just making it seem like certain things are happening by being very clever with our device usage. But anyway, let's talk about the picking up / placing down props. I have a button encompassing the Peely on the dryer that you can interact with one time. The interaction hold time is actually 1 second. There's no delay or reset delay, no trigger sounds. It's enabled at game start, and the interaction text is actually pick up Peely because you're picking up Peely. I gave it a relatively small interaction radius because, I mean, Peely is relatively small, and I actually put this up to channel 1. Now, this button is actually going to be doing 2 things. The first thing it does is send a signal to this prop manipulator to make Peely invisible. For whatever prop you're going to be picking up, you want to make sure the start hidden setting is set to false, and if it's only one prop, you don't have to worry about this setting right here. Just as you're going to use when you hide or will make more than one prop invisible, but in this case it's just peeling so we don't have to worry about it. Do not override the prop health, and then of course I am going to hide this when receiving from the same channel I have hooked up on that button, which in this case is channel 1. Like I said, this button is doing two things. So the first thing it's doing is sending a signal to the prop manipulator to make this peely invisible, and what it's doing is enabling the second button that we're going to be using to place down our peely. This button is set up the exact same way as the other button. The only difference is it says place peely instead of pick up because we're going to be placing it, and it is disabled at game start. You have to make sure that whatever you're going to be placing down is disabled at game start. So yeah, make sure this is just disabled on game start, and we're going to be enabling it from the same channel that is causing that other peely to be invisible, which is channel 1. And then I have it set up so when we interact with it, it sends on channel 2, which then sends a signal to this prop manipulator that then makes the stuff visible. The only difference with this device is start hidden is set to true, so that you can't actually see this peely on the table until we click that button, and of course the show props is hooked up with channel 2. So yeah, really simple stuff. This peely is visible, I walk up to him, I pick him up, I make him invisible, that button is now enabled, and I go over, press it, and then create the illusion that I just placed him down on the table. For the pump shotgun, it is a very similar concept. I have a button that is hooked up on channel 3. This just says pick up pump. It has a little bit bigger of an interaction radius, and it is enabled on game start. All this is doing is sending a signal to this prop manipulator to make all of these props invisible. There is one prop that I actually couldn't hide with it, and I think it is that little black piece on top of the nozzle right there. You see it right there? Yeah, I couldn't get that. Since I'm picking this up, I'm making sure that the start hidden setting is set on false, and then of course I just hide them when receiving from the same channel that button is sending.
I'm playing for dance.
The extra prop manipulator that I had to use is literally the exact same thing, but it's set up so that it's just using one prop. The only other thing that's happening is I have an item granter with a pump shotgun inside of it that is hooked up on the same channel that makes those props invisible, so channel 3. And then of course all of these settings are going to be relative to how you want to orient the player's inventory, but the main thing is just granting them this pump shotgun on the same channel that is making all of those props invisible. So yeah, when I walk up to this pump shotgun, you can see that it says pick up pump. I'm going to press this, it's going to send on channel 3 to then grab me the pump and make all of those props invisible. I did have to readjust this a couple times because it kept making the wall invisible, but it shouldn't be too big of a problem. Just make sure you're placing these very meticulously. And with the bandages, I am doing the exact same thing. I am setting up a prop manipulator that hides them when receiving from a certain channel, and in this case it's actually 3 different channels, which I think is 4, 5, and 6. And then of course I have all these item granters that are hooked up on the same channels that are making the props invisible, and then when I pick up the bandages, it makes them invisible and puts them in my inventory. Of course, make sure starts hidden is set to false, and then all we're literally doing is just hiding the bandages and putting them in my inventory. Like I said earlier, doing stuff like this before required an immense amount of memory and was extremely painful to execute. Like if I wanted to pick up a bandage, I had to be teleported to an exact copy of this room where there wasn't a bandage there. If you weren't using something that had disappearing properties already, like objective devices or barriers, then this was extremely difficult to do. But now, since we have the prop manipulator, everything is so much easier. So yeah, that's picking up / placing down every prop in the game. Just get creative with it. I'm sure there is an immense amount that is possible that I have not covered in this video. Anyway, let's talk about the little crate that I have set up here that I can open and close now because of this device. This particular mechanic works with any custom doors, any custom latches, any custom crates, anything you could theoretically open that you have made out of separate parts, you can do this trick with. Now, I have 2 buttons set up here with the exact same interaction radius that do 2 different things. One of them says open box, and it is enabled on game start, and when I click this button, it sends a signal to channel 7, which then disables itself, which is important. When I click the open box button, what it's doing is sending 2 signals to 2 different prop manipulators. This first one is actually touching this part of the box right here because what I'm going to be doing is making it invisible. So as you can see, if I click on these settings, the start hidden is set to false, and then it says hide props when receiving from 7. So when I click that button, it's going to send a signal to this device to then hide the top of this box, and then it's sending a signal to this one up here. This is actually the top part of the box, so the start hidden is going to be set to true, and then when I click that open box button that is set up on channel 7, it is going to show this prop. For a more visual representation, you can see that the button says open box. When I click this, it's going to send a signal to channel 7 to make that top piece invisible and kind of give the illusion that it's moving upward, and then the closed box, I'll go over that right now. If you look closely, you can see the 2 buttons right there. This button in front is actually the closed box button, and this button is disabled on game start. Of course, it says closed box, and what it does is it enables when receiving from the same channel that is opening the box. So I'm using channel channel 7 to open the box, we're going to enable this, and this is sending on channel 8 that will also disable itself. What channel 8 does is the exact opposite of what channel 7 does. It makes this open version of the crate actually become invisible. You can see that it says hide props when receiving from channel 8, and then this closed version of the crate down here, it then shows the prop when receiving from channel 8. So when it's all thrown together, again, it looks like this. Our open box button is the only button that is enabled. It sends a signal on channel 7 to make that prop invisible and make this one appear visible, and then our close box button becomes enabled. The open one has been disabled, and then when I click this, it sends a signal to make this invisible and the closed version visible again. And then of course my open box button is then usable again, so I can just continuously open and close this box however many times I want to. You don't have to make a closing animation for everything, but I just have it because this is super simple. Now keep in mind the prop manipulator is not a very responsive device. If I spam click my square button, you can see that it doesn't open and close the box rapidly. It is slightly delayed. And of course, the more props you're either hiding or showing, it's going to be more and more delayed. This is just one prop, so it's not too bad, but it gets worse and worse with the more stuff you actually try to hide or show. But yeah, that's the custom crate. Let's move on to the jump scare. Now this was actually more of a pain to set up than you might have initially thought. For some reason, when I was setting this up, one prop manipulator wasn't enough to hide trauma, so I actually have two that are hooked up on the exact same channels. I have a trigger that is invisible in-game here that can be triggered by the player. It can only be triggered once, and it is sending a signal on channel 11. Now, what channel 11 is doing is sending a signal to these prop manipulators to make all of the props encompassed inside of their zone visible. You can see start hidden is set to true, and then it says show props when receiving from channel 11. Of course, I'm making more than one prop actually pop up, so I have affect all objects in a zone set to yes, and then I just have these custom tiles set up here. You want to be careful with actually stretching this device when you have this setting on, because it can mess with the hitbox, but otherwise you should be okay. So yeah, I run into this trigger, it sends a signal on channel 11 to make trauma appear, and then I have a trigger up here that is actually on a delay to make him invisible again. There's a trigger that triggers when receiving from 11, and when triggered, it sends on channel 12 1 second later. You can see that there's actually a 1 second delay on it. And all that's doing is making all the props encompassed inside of the zone invisible again. So you can see start hidden is set to true, but then I'm going to hide the props when receiving from channel 12. So when I walk into this trigger, it's going to send a signal on channel 11 to make all of the props inside of the zone visible, and then 1 second later, all of the props inside of those zones will be invisible again. I also put a speaker on the same channel that makes the props visible, because if you're going to have a pop-up jump scare, you're probably going to have a sound associated, so I guess you don't have to if you don't want to. But yeah, super simple. That's pop-up jump scare. The first thing I'm having was actually crafting/creating new areas, and this one's a little more complicated than the other one. Whatever area you're going to be creating/crafting, you want to have a prop manipulator that is set to have all the props inside of it hidden. And of course, you're going to be showing these when receiving from a certain channel, which in my case is channel 10. Now, I have a conditional button here that requires 10 brick for me to send a signal using it. The settings on this are kind of complicated, but basically you just want to make some interaction text for when you actually have all of the items, and then of course some interaction text if you're missing the items. You saw earlier in the video it said requires 10 brick when I didn't have 10 brick, and then when I did it said build fireplace. I have this thing disabling after use, and remain unlock after activation is also off. I have it showing the key items so you know that it's brick you need. I don't know what the item slots do, I'm not going to lie to you, because I don't use the conditional button very often, but I know the key items required is 10, so however many items you need, you can adjust this to be appropriate, I guess. You want to consume the key items, you want to have all of them consumed at once, and then I have this enabled on game start, and of course it's not visible. And then when it's activated, it is sending a signal on channel 10, which is making everything encompassed inside of this zone, which is just the fireplace and all its amenities, visible. But yeah, I need 10 brick to build a fireplace. Once I have the 10 brick, I can then go up and hold square, and then it will make the fireplace appear, giving me the illusion that I built it. Obviously, the more complicated the crafting recipe, the more conditional buttons you're going to have, and it just becomes a whole jumbled I showed you. So what I'm doing here is actually taking one singular prop, making that prop invisible, and then making its broken version visible, which I'm sure you could have guessed. So this board that I got from the Outdoor Residential Prop Gallery, I went ahead and I placed this thing down right where it's placed. As you can see, it's right there. I then hooked up a prop manipulator that had the start hidden setting set to false, and because it's just one prop, I have this set to no. The prop's health is invulnerable, so I don't actually destroy it. I just want to make it disappear, and then it hides the prop when you're receiving the
Stuck in a pattern.
which is actually 5 individual pieces. You can see there's the 2 larger ones, and then there's like 3 stacks of wood. I took the 2 bigger pieces that aren't hidden by the initial flank, and
Stuck in a pattern.
them with the prop manipulator. The settings on these have start hidden set to true, and then of course I'm going to be showing them from the same
Wait, hit the ground.
hiding my initial board, which is channel 13. So we have this board. It's set up to send a signal when it is damaged.
You're stuck in a pattern.
That will make it invisible, and then make those 2 other smaller pieces invisible, and if it's all put together, it just looks like that. A key part of making it look smooth is making sure that everything stays relatively the same length. You can see when I break this board, it doesn't look like it's grows or shrinks at all, which is done on purpose and is very important in making this look good. And with that, I think that's all the examples I have set up for this prop manipulator. In summary, this device is insane. I barely even scratched the surface with this video for what this device is actually capable of doing, but hopefully after watching it you've been inspired and are going into creative and testing out everything for yourself. And I know all the examples I showed weren't that in-depth, but my main goal was just to show you what the device is capable of and some pretty simple ways to use it. But anyway, that is everything I have for you guys today. I really do hope this video helps you guys, and yeah, this has been some time. Later.
Enemy soldier nearby.
With them, they bring the balloons, tons of different floor and wall textures, window shapes, and colors that we haven't yet had available in creative until this moment in time. The first wall gallery has some of the best wall textures that I've ever seen in the time, along with the window shapes and the fact that these glass windows sort of have like blinds in them. And the columns, these have really nice this wall gallery is pretty much the same story. We have a bunch of new window designs, a bunch of new wall textures, and look.
Next time will be different. Return to base for debrief.
I also would like to draw your attention to these walls back here because, I mean, just look at it. For anyone that likes all along, I just wasn't made aware, of course. That would be pretty typical. Now, while there are a lot of repeat props in the prop gallery, we have some of the most amazing things that I have ever seen and heard. I mean, just listen to this. As if that wasn't enough, you can actually burn yourself with this. Like what? It has a visual effect, a sound effect. What a great prop. We've got what I believe are new weight sets. I think there's a new carpet over here, and there's also some like pool rules back here. Yeah, look at this. We have a whole list of pool rules now. How cool is that? Wait, they took out the E in weapons, but left alcohol? That doesn't make any sense. Wait, absolutely no. Is that supposed to say fun? No, hold on. I think Epic is actually trolling. That literally says absolutely no FU. There's no getting around that. It literally says no FU. Anyway, moving on, we have this painting now. I don't know if we had it before. I know I've seen it before, but I'm not sure if it was unreleased or what it was. I also think we got this plant. It might have been in the greasy POI island, but all of this is irrelevant. You want to know why? Actually, wait, I forgot there was a giant version of this light now, which is like comically large compared to the shark one. But anyway, you want to know why everything is just completely irrelevant in this gallery? It's because we finally now have this spinning fan. This is all I've ever wanted. Just in case anyone was wondering, like, oh, what does Syntax want in the next update? This was it. I didn't want anything else. I remember when I first saw this thing in an RV on the Battle Royale map, and I just remember thinking, you know how cool that'd be to have it in creative? Look at it. It's so immersive. Or creature. It's not gonna work, so don't even try. But anyway, I was messing around with this thing earlier, and it's very strange. It has a lot of settings, a lot of confusing settings. We have different kind of patrolling modes where they can go back and forth. They
Use
can
this
move,
time
they
to
can stop
train
again.
them.
I'm not gonna lie and say I figured out what the path groups do. All I know is that, you know, you create a path group, and then you just start deleting nodes, and, you know, it just kind of does its thing. I can change it to looping, and then, yep, now I'm sure guards, if I put them on here somehow, they
Enemy
would walk
soldier nearby.
square formation. I've noticed that if you take one and elevate it, if I take one and put it up like that, wait, it says they can go up to it, but not down. I guess I would need a second one, like here, maybe? I don't know. I don't know how it works. I also noticed that any of them that you place, the path changes. So, like, if I go out here and place it, they go there, and then, you know, I create a copy, and they come here.
Enough training. Now you fight a real enemy.
It's all very weird. I'm sure it would make sense that it's 5 minutes to use the path, but now, upon clicking the first, the message that reads, the application did not need to be done. Like to continue out to convert to a direct bind. This is going to change the game in ways that people are not prepared. If you head over to your island settings and go to tools, you will now see this option that says event system, and you have the ability to hit convert. Now, upon clicking convert, you get a message that reads, you are about to convert to direct binding. This may cause some devices to not function as expected. It is recommended to duplicate your island as this action cannot be undone. Would you like to proceed? Now, I don't know about you, but to me, that's a super intimidating message. It's saying you're about to do something that can't be undone, and you don't even know what to do. According to the patch notes, direct event binding allows for devices to communicate directly. Using the new UI capability, you can manually set functions and events directly from your device. So yeah, I'm gonna convert, and I guess we're just gonna take a look at what that looks like, and it's simply the button back there, that is the button. And now when I click this, oh man, oh no, now we have two. So I guess I can. Oh no.
I'll see you later, dude.
When you click this, it brings up all the devices.